Renetta will be going through just some additional features of their program that you could possibly use for some steel framing structures. This is not to replace a Tekla equivalent, but it is a good start from a Revit platform point of view. So welcome again and enjoy. Renetta, all yours.
Thank you, Peter, and hello, everyone. First, I would like to start with a few words about AGA CAD. It's a company from Lithuania, and we are pioneers in development of Autodesk Revit add-ons and professional BIM software for AEC fields. We are gold partners of Autodesk. At the same time, we have authorized training and certification centers, and we are Autodesk authorized developers. We are operating since 1991, and we have departments in programming, project management, training, consulting, and sales. And this is our main team that works on tools for Revit. Our main goal is to eliminate the waste of time working with your Revit projects. This is the list of all products that we have right now in the market. And today we're going to talk about BIM Tree Manager. This is a product that goes for managing parameters and parameter values that are created in the current project. At the same time, you can insert different elements to different project places according to some rules. Then we will continue with the Cut Opening Pro that makes openings around ducts, pipes, cable traces, conduits in walls, floors, beams, columns, and so on. Then Smart Assemblies goes for making shop drawings automatically. Then we're going to talk about Metal Framing Pro pack. Here we have two products, Wall Plus and Truss Plus, for making metal wall frames and for making metal trusses. But the Truss Plus is coming soon, and we are going to release that officially very soon. Just today I'm going to show a few examples how it works. Then we have Smart Browser Pro that goes for managing parameters and parameter values that are created for the families that comes from the library. So it goes for your content managing, and today we're going to create new parameters for some bunch of foundations. Then Sort Cope is kind of small tool, but at the same time is very handy for coping the ends of our beams or trusses. Now let's go to Revit project. Okay, and this is simple model with several columns, beams, and with linked pipes and cable traces that comes from the linked model. Now I'm going to start with distributing elements and with inserting foundations. And let's begin with BIM Tree Manager. That product you can find in the separate tab under the name Tools for Revit, Create and Modify. First that I have to do, I have to pick any column from the model, go to BIM Tree Manager, and here I'm going to get the list with all columns that are created in this project. If I select the rows in this list, I can see that selection in my model. So in this case, it's very easy to understand what element you're going to use and what element you're going to change, what parameters you're going to change. And then with adding parameters, you can just add additional columns with different parameters that comes from the column category. In the left side of the tree, you can make filter, and you can filter your families according to the type name or family name. Also, you can make changes in the left side of the tree, and you can add additional parameters for your filtering and for finding the columns that you need. At the same time, we're going to use all the columns at the moment, and in the right side of the dialog, you can see functionalities and menu that you can use for such category. So you can renumber elements, you can calculate the elevation values, you can calculate X and Y coordinates. So there are different functionalities that are created specially for the column category. And now we can go to insert elements. This is a very powerful possibility for inserting additional elements to the project. So this is foundation family that I'm going to use. And here in the left side of the dialog, you will be able to see all families that are loaded into your project. Right now, rectangular foundation is selected, and the tool shows the rule. So right now, the element will be placed related to the column base point. If it's necessary, you can add additional elevation or side offset values from the column. Right now, just let's insert them to the model. There are 9 elements inserted, and we can check those columns here. Now we can also insert additional plates to the column. So again, I'm going back to my BIM Tree Manager. Just want to show one more example with foundations. So again, we're going to insert foundations to the next part of our building. Okay, there are 8 elements inserted, and as you see, BIM Tree Manager works like external application, so there is no need to close the dialog and to open the dialog again. Just here, I want to show an example with a family. As you see, my column was rotated, so at the same direction, foundation is rotated as well. Now we're going to insert bottom plates, and right now I'm going to filter connection. Okay, I'm going to use this type, and there are 3 rules. This is phase-based family, so it could be any your created family. And there are 3 rules. Right now you can add this plate to the top face of the column, then it could be added into the beam and column connection, and then it could be added to the bottom face of the column. There are 17 elements automatically distributed, and then we can see that plate here. The family, it's not just simple distributing. The family automatically gets additional parameters from the column. If we take a look into the column, we have here the sizes of the column, and also when we're making the plate, we can make the same parameters in the plate, and then the tool will copy the values from the column to the plate family. There are 2 mandatory conditions. The parameter names has to be the same in the column and in the family that you're going to insert, and also it has to be in the model properties group.
Renetta, I'm assuming that family we could have grouts and other details. That's just a simple family you've made?
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't matter what kind of shape of the family you have. You can make your own design and your own family with your own details. Yeah. Then let's select foundation. So I'm going to filter all foundations from my model. And again, let's go to insert elements. And here I'm going to insert such family to my foundation. So it's like anchors, and the same I'm going to use that family. And right now this is again face-based family, but right now it will be placed on the top face of my structural foundation. Okay, and again there are 17 elements inserted. and we can check those families here. Now, also we can, what else we can do with our foundations? We can renumber them in the sort mark. Here we have sort mark possibility that allows you to renumber elements in different ways. You can make your own configuration for numbering elements. Like in my case, I did configuration for foundations. Just we're making unique numbers for every foundation with such prefix. So after pressing OK, right now the tool will renumber all my foundations. At the same time, we can add additional values like X and Y coordinates or calculate the real elevation. So let's calculate X and Y coordinate that comes from the middle point, and it will be shared parameter. Actually, we can use existing parameters that are created in foundation family, but at the same time we can create new shared parameters just directly in the dialog. So we can add just the name of parameters, so it will be X and Y shared coordinate. And after pressing OK, the tool will write the real X and Y coordinates for every foundation. So now, after closing the dialog, we can just select foundation, and we can see that we have mark values and then X and Y coordinates in every object. At the same time, let's renumber our columns. Okay, I'm going to use all columns. Let's renumber those columns. And here I have configuration also that is created specially for my columns. We are going to group our columns according to material behavior and structural usage. Then we will renumber them according to the column allocation mark. Then we're going to sort that in X and minus Y directions. And this is the final result that we're going to see in the column mark. So that configuration, you can actually, you can just make that one time, and that configuration will be saved in the separate XML file. And later you will be able to share that configuration with your colleagues. So as you see right now in this view, our columns renumber it according to X and then minus Y direction. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8, and so on. If you want to change the sorting or just configuration settings, it's not a problem. You can anytime go to sort mark. The tool will show you the latest configuration, and the tool will save that configuration for you, and then you can change, for example, the order of the sorting. And that's it. Right now, direction was changed, and right now this column is first, and then this one is second, and so on. Now let's insert connections to our frames. Here we have beams and columns. So first, let's select several beams from the project. Actually, you can make such filter with a BIM tree, or you can select the elements from the model. If you select elements from the model, then the tool will show you this list in BIM tree dialog. Okay, so there are.
Have you pre-coped those beams or done anything special of how they connect to columns?
No, actually, those beams should be just created in regular way. At the moment, there are not coped. Just created beams in regular way, like you connect them together with a column.
Okay.
Now let's go to insert by elements by related category, and here we're going to insert this connection, and that connection will be created on the start and end faces of the beam. There are 8 elements inserted. Okay, and we can see that connections here. So again, we're taking parameters from the BIM category, and as you see, there are more parameters under the model properties group, and the tool transfers parameter values from the BIM to our structural connection. One more example. Yeah, there are many frames in my project at the moment, so that's why it's keep reading the model. Okay, and now I'm going to insert a BIM stiffener, and that could be a rule. We will make an array with a fixed maximum distance along the bottom face of the beam. And here you can add offsets from the start and end faces of the beam, and then we can add the distance between those beam stiffeners. And after insert model, there are 39 elements inserted, and we can check those families here. As you know, it's really difficult to distribute different connections to exactly to the beam or column connection, and also along the beam. So it's manual work, and you have to do that manually, just one by one. Now, I would like to show one more very interesting possibility with distributing cleats on a rafter, and right now we will find collision between the beam and purlin that is above that rafter.
Renata, could you zoom in a bit on that connection?
Yeah.
When you're done, please.
Yeah. Okay, and yeah. So now, if we go to insert elements, we have here a connection. And now we're going to use the rule that will locate our cleat above our selected beam, and the tool will find the connection vertically with the framings that are above that our rafter. So after insert model, there are 7 elements inserted, but they will be inserted exactly to the connection between rafter and purlin. One more example with inserting connections. If we have slope, for example, and if we want to make connection between column and beam, but we have beams with slopes.
Now you've coped that rafter.
Yeah.
That
right now the rafter. Yeah. Right now the rafter is coped with our sort cope, and later I will show such example how we did this. Okay, so we're going to insert that family. It's very simple family. Just add it with a few formulas, and after inserting the model, there are 6 elements inserted automatically, and here we have such connection. So if it's straight beam, then we have straight connection, and if it's beam with angle, then we added a formula that automatically makes such angle in the family. Because when we have a family, such family, this is here we can read information from the beam, not just from the column. So also there should be a special rule. So we're reading a start and level offsets from the beam, and then the length of the beam. and then we're making just an angle in the family. Okay, let's continue with coping elements. Like here, this family is not coped, so here we can use sort cope possibility, sort cope tool, and there are different functionalities how you can cope beams. The beam could be connected to selected beams, or it can intersect selected beams, and so on. But right now, our beam we have to connect with structural columns. Here you can add a coping distance between column and beam, and then the tool will cope those ends of our beams. The same example we can do here. Also, this is the beam that should be coped. We are going to use that possibility, cope selected beams connected to other beams, and that's it. So now the tool will cope those ends of the beams. Now we can distribute openings in this project. Here I have a linked model with some pipes and the cable tray from other projects from MEP model. And here we are going to use CAD Opening Pro that makes openings around pipes, ducts, cable traces, conduits in walls, floors, beams, columns, and other categories. So first that we have to do, we have to go to run interference check. So it's regular Revit possibility that finds collisions between the categories you select. So I'm going to select structural columns and structural framings, and then pipes and cable trays from my MEP model that comes from the link. After pressing OK, the tool finds such collisions. We have to export that information to HTML file, and now we're ready to go with CAD Opening Pro. So first we have to read interference check data. We have to select the file that was exported from Revit. And now this is the list of all collisions. And what is very good with CAD Opening Pro, that it makes automatically section box around the elements you select from the model. So here it will be very easy for you to find those collisions and to check if this is the place where the opening should be created. At the same time, you can change the cut offset values, so it will be the distance between the pipe and the opening, so it's a small distance around that opening. And then we can filter, we can make filters, we can insert elements, we can insert openings into our selected level, or we can make that filter according to the category where the family should be inserted, where the opening should be created. So again, in the left side of the tree you can make different filters, and you can just insert openings step by step. Especially it's very handy if you have a huge project. But right now we're going to insert those openings for all collisions. Okay, so there are 16 openings created. Okay, and we can check results. As you see, even if the beam is created with a slope, still the tool makes such opening. And right now we can check.
Could you just turn off your link file so we can see holes through all the framework, please?
Yes. Yeah, we can check those holes here. And yeah, so I'm going to unhide this link. So if we're going to check that interferences again, between columns, frames, and pipes and cable traces from the link. After pressing OK, there is no interferences detected. So everything is OK, and we did all those openings in our model. Now, if you make any changes in the linked file, let's say I'm going to move that pipe a little bit. And we have to reload this link. So if you do any changes with your structural model, or if you make any changes with your MEP elements, you have to just repeat running collisions. So again, between pipes and columns. Then we have such collisions. Now we have again to export that into updated HTML file. And again, we have to go to read interference check data, select updated HTML file with the new collisions, and the tool will show you, and the tool will let you know that the opening should be moved because we changed position of those families, of those objects. So again, I'm going to change the cut offset value. And then under the green rows, you will be able to see collisions that are already created and everything is okay. And right now we have to update those objects. And after pressing OK, we can just check the model. So as you see, the opening was moved and the opening was updated according to the changes that we did in MEP model that comes from the link. Now, after that, we can continue with making assemblies. Actually, for making workshop drawings, the best tool that is created by Revit or by Autodesk is possibility to make assemblies. And but that possibility, if you would try to do that with Revit functionality, you can see that you have just to find and you have to do those views. I mean, the tool will make those views for you, but still there are a lot of manual work. You have to prepare those views, you have to add dimensions and connections. They are not connected automatically. They are not grouped together with that beam. So we saw that this possibility actually is not so very handy for Revit users. So that's why we did our own smart assemblies. So here you just need to select a beam, for example, or the column, wall, foundation, or any other structural element, and just press on Create Assemblies. This is the list of the categories that are supported, so you can use the same functionality for walls, parts, floors, structural or architectural columns, beams, foundations, and generic model category, which can host rebar. And also mandatory condition that every element, every main element has to have mark value. And after pressing create, the tool will make assembly. At the same time, we can check all those views. So it's a 3D view, but it contains all those connections. And then we can check all those views. So we can see dimensions on the front view, on the left side view, the top side view, maybe a section, then material takeoff, automatically created, and the part list. If you not satisfied with the views that you get, you can always modify that, and you can go to shop drawing configuration settings. Here you can predefine the views that you want to get. So this is the list of all views, and you can select the views that you would like to create for every assembly. Then you can predefine the view name, then the view template. So it's regular view template that comes from your project. So you can make your own view templates with your own scale, with your own graphical design. And then dimensioning rules. Dimensioning rules is the rule how you would like, what dimensions you would like to add. So if we go to edit dimensioning rules, here you can just find possibilities in the menu with all dimensions that could be added, and then you can predefine your own rules how dimensions should be added on the main element, so it would be added on the column or beam. There are different rules where you can just predefine your own dimension type for the totals and for the common dimensions, then for non-standard and for the standard cuts, and then for openings. Also there is possibility if you want to split equal dimension on equal segments. Then separate tab for metal hosted details. So again, you can predefine your own rules how you would like to add dimensions on metal details or concrete details. Then if your model contains a rebar, then separate tab for dimensioning rebar sets. Then a possibility to switch on or switch off dimensions and to show priorities of those dimensions. As here, we're going to add dimensions on the openings or standard cuts or non-standard cuts. So it will be very easy for you to understand those settings because you will see the preview in the right side of the dialog. And then the last tab goes for inserting nodes for every dimension chain. So if you would like, you can add dimensioning nodes for every chain, and you will be able to understand what families you have in every chain. So if we make some changes in our configuration dialog, we can say that for our future projects, and again, that's configuration rules. You can make different configuration rules and you can share that rules with your colleagues. And after saving the dialog, we can update assembly. Okay, and as you see, at the moment we have the tool added additional text nodes with describing every dimension chain. And the same, it goes for all other views. Let's go back again to shop drawing configuration settings, and there is a separate tab for making schedules. Here you can predefine your own list with the schedules, and then you can use schedule template. Schedule template, it's a regular schedule that comes from your project. So you can make your own schedule with your own columns, with your own filters, and you can apply that schedule for assembly schedules. And then in the end we have a sheet. Here it's very simple. You just have to select the title block and then a sheet template that will be used. So I'm going to save this configuration, and I'm going to the sheet view, and here I have to just to add and prepare my first sheet. So I'm going to add front side view, then top side view here, then left side view, for example. Then material takeoff, then the part list here, and maybe a 3D view here. Okay, and if we come back to our configuration settings, we can say that this sheet will be used as a template for our future sheets. And after saving the dialog, we can go back to our 3D model. I can select other beam, for example, and after pressing create assemblies, now the tool will make all those views for me, but at the same time the tool will put those views into the sheet. So we can just go directly to the sheet view and then we can see results. So the tool created all those views, but at the same time the tool added those views into the sheet automatically and into the same place as it was in my sample sheet. One more possibility that we have with smart assemblies is that you can, every assembly will have 4 additional parameters with the day and time when assembly was created, then with the assembly mass and assembly weight values. So those values will be calculated according to material densities that are applied for every element in the assembly. Let's take a look into one more example with a foundation. So again, we can just select foundation, press on create assembly, and then we can get assembly for this foundation. So again, we have front view, top side view, 3D view. Now let's do similar assembly to our column.
Renetta, on the pad footing assembly you just made,
yeah.
So that do the tools have the ability to insert the coordinates?
Yeah, the coordinate at the moment the coordinates you have to add additionally and manually with a sport coordinate possibility. At the moment we are adding these dimensions on every view, but not coordinates.
Could we do it? Could we do it through scheduling? That you schedule
exactly.
That you pick up, you could pick up your coordinates?
Exactly. You can make a schedule with a column that contains coordinates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or also, there is possibility, if you want, you can use dimension style that is ordinate. You know that you can use also different dimension styles in your model and show, for example, ordinate string type of dimension. So also it could be an option, and sometimes it's very handy for the users. So also this could be an option for adding such dimension types. Okay. Now let's yeah. So we did assemblies. So for in such case, you can make assembly for every element like foundation, column, beam, wall, or floor panel. And now let's continue with one more product and one more possibility that I would like to show is just a sample model, a sample house with framed walls and with a framed roof. Here we have metal trusses and metal frames on the wall. For those two tasks, we have to use some separate tools that comes from separate tabs. So it's tools for Revit metal framing tab, and here we have Wall Plus that makes frames on the wall panels that are created in the project. So it's a regular wall with 3 wall layers. And here we can, if we have the tool, first we have to go to framing configuration settings, and here you will be able to find the list and tabs on how you would like to make those frames. And again, it's very easy to understand those settings because every time you will get the preview, first just you have to show and you have to start with main vertical and horizontal plates and studs that you're going to use. Those sample families will be automatically loaded to your project. And but anytime also you can modify the profiles, and you can do some changes in the families if it's necessary. Those families it's our own created sample families, and those families will be loaded together with the product. But anytime you can make changes if it's necessary. So then you have to predefine the settings for regular wall frames. You have just to define the spacings between the frames, then what frame you're going to use for the top plate, for the bottom plate, then what framings you're going to use for windows. Also, there are different settings how you would like to, how the frames should be created. Then again, for the sills, a separate tab, for the trimmers, for other studs. You can also make diagonal cripple panel types. It could be a Pratt or Baron types. And that settings, the setting for window frames can be adjusted according to different window or door sizes. So it's if the width of the opening goes from 0 to 1 meter, then we can have one configuration, and then from 1 meter to a larger size, then we can have separate again configuration settings. So it's very similar configuration settings we have for doors and for other openings. Then for L connections, T connections, free end connections, V connections, additional stud could be added into the ridges. Then noggings, bracings, and then additional vertical or horizontal elements could be added. And then automatically the tool can make horizontal or vertical service holes. And the same as before, it's very similar scenario that we used in the previous tools. We can save that configuration for our future projects, and we can also share that configuration settings with our colleagues. And after making that configuration setting, you have to make a wall link. So it will be a link between our wall type that is created in the model and configuration name. The tool will show you all layers that were created in the wall, and then you have just to say what exactly framing layer you're going to put into every wall layer. So it will be a secondary frame or sheeting or a metal frame, and then a configuration name. And after that, you just need to pick a wall and press on frame walls. Now the tool will frame the wall according to configuration settings that we did before. Okay, and actually it's very easy to make those frames, and as you see, and those frames, they are created as a separate objects, as a separate structural frames. All those frames will have analytical lines. So if we're going to take a look into the frames here, you can see that all those frames, they have analytical lines, so it will be later used in the calculation and transferred to calculation system. And also when we have such frames, also we can prepare shop drawings. So I just need to pick any frame from the wall panel and press on Create Frame Assembly. So now the tool will collect all frames that were created for one wall segment, and we can check results. So as you see here, we can have all those frames grouped together into one assembly, and here we have tags on every frame and then dimensions on every segment. At the same time, we can check the top side view, and then the material takeoff, and then a part list. Yeah, just here we added some filters, so that's why we can't see those we can't see those members. But yeah, that's okay. I'm coming back again to my model, and just want to say that here also we added possibility to export that information to CNC. First, we have to sort elements by ID. Okay, and it's very easy to make export to CNC. Again, you just need to select any frame from a wall panel, go to export to CNC, and right now the tool will create two TXT files that can be pushed to machine, and there is a separate catalog created with a project name, day and time when TXT file is created, and here we can have separate TXT files for the plates and for the studs. And then this information can be pushed to the machine. At the same time, actually, right now, those TXT files, they're grouped together as a separate files for the plates and for the studs, and it's created for the wall that I just selected. But also, we can group the data into any TXT files that you want. So we can adjust that configuration for every company additionally, if it's necessary.
Renata, if you move a window, will that update automatically?
Yeah, if you move a window, for example, like this, you have to press Update menu. So you just need to press on, select any frame and press on Update frame. And then the frames will be updated according to the changes that you do in the model. So the same, you can move the wall, for example. You can, because every time the frames, they are connected with the element, with the main element, with the wall, because we did a link between the walls that are created in the model and then the frames. So every time the tool will remember all those frames, and it will be very easy for you to delete or make some changes in configuration. If you want to make some extra, for example, changes in this dialog, you can modify frames if it's necessary, modify a custom wall or a custom opening or wall join, and so on. Then we can, and after that you can export that data into CNC machine. Then we can also make trusses. Here I will show you a small example with this part of the roof. The same as I did here, because the tool will recognize the roof shape, and the tool will give you a suggestion about the trusses that should be created for such end of the roof. And right now, here we just need to go to truss system, and we're going to insert truss system grid. I just selected the roof, so the tool reads information from the roof, and then I have just to pick the lines, the model lines that are created automatically, and just indicate the roof end that I'm going to use. So just need to select model lines for the end slope of the roof, left side, right side, and the valley slope roof line. Okay, so the left side, right side, and then the line for the valleys. And after pressing OK, the tool will give you a suggestion, and the tool will give you the type of the trusses that would be created for this end of the roof. There are additional parameters. Some of them, they are locked at the moment because it's automatically adjusted according to the roof shape, but also you can modify that if it's necessary. Later later usually. So after pressing OK, the tool created for me a grid line. So it's our created object with lines, because if you would start working with the trusses, it will make your project slow, and yeah, because you know that the truss is really complicated object, so it would be really difficult to work directly with the trusses. So first, our suggestion is to make like a grid first, and to see if everything is okay with a layer, and then if it's okay, then it's recommended to generate the real trusses. The tool automatically shows the list of the trusses or rafters that will be created for such grid. Also, those types could be edited, or you could edit those truss types. You can prepare your own truss types if it's necessary. And after pressing OK, now the tool will generate, and the tool will put real trusses to this end of our roof. Okay, and that's it. The trusses are created, and it's created according to the roof that we have at the moment. So also there are other functionalities where you can insert a valley truss grid. You can then make array of those trusses that would be automatically adjusted according to the roof shape. But maybe here I would like to show, we have just the time limit, but here I would like to show one more interesting example that we have for the trusses. You can actually make a model line, and then we can make a truss type from the model line. Then you have to pick a roof, and then the tool will show you a separate dialog where you can draw your own truss type. So it's very simple dialog where you just need to add a web, and then you just need to draw the webs in the way how it should be created. Okay, and the tool finds the top chord of the roof, so the tool reads information from the roof, and then the bottom plate is the place where the model line is located. So it's a very easy way for making your own custom trusses, because you know that when you do trusses manually, it's really time consuming, and it takes much time. So here you just need to select the group of the trusses, then you can add your own name. Okay, and you can add your own description, and after pressing OK, the tool will generate such truss, and the tool will put that truss into the place where the model line is located. Okay, and that's it. We added a truss here, and it's created according to the settings that we did in our truss builder. So it's very powerful possibility, and it's very easy possibility for making your own custom trusses and put them exactly to the place where you want to add them. And again, I just want to repeat that all those trusses and wall frames, they are regular structural frames and structural trusses, and all of them will have analytical lines. One more possibility that I would like to show with the trusses, here I have a sample truss, a regular truss that comes from Revit library, and here we have possibility to just with this, also with the short cope, you can also cope elements of trusses. Okay, and now the tool will cope those ends if it's necessary for the truss that comes from a regular Revit library. Okay, so with a Truss Plus, you can very easily make your own custom trusses with a truss builder. Also, you can generate a truss grade for the roof, and that is created, and the tool will read information from the roof. And then you can also make shop drawings for the trusses. But this tool is under the development right now. Actually, we are finishing with that, and it will be released very soon into the market. But if you would like to test this tool, and if you would like to try this tool on your projects, we can give that trial version for you. It's not a problem. And the last thing, the last product that I would like to show is Smart Browser Pro. It goes for managing parameters and parameter values that are created, and that comes from the families from the library. Here you just need to read information from the library, and after pressing Start Family Browser, the tool will show you the content.
So what Renetta is about to go through, this is a way to audit your project and ensure you have the latest families in your job relative to your current office standards. So, and also I think by memory we'll be adding parameters on the run for families, so it could be a quick way to add QA parameters as required.
Yeah, so now the tool shows me my regular Revit library. You can actually have several libraries that point into the different your computer or server locations. You can have your library somewhere on the network as a company library. And then here we can check all those types that are created for every family. Then we can check parameter names and parameter values. Then the formulas that were created for the family. So it's very easy dialog for finding the families that you want and that you want to use in the model. Because when you load families from the library, it's very confusing because you can see only the small picture, but you can't understand about the real parameters and the real types that are created. So then you have to load the family into the project, and then you have to check that. So instead of that, you can use Smart Family Browser, and if parameter name will be displayed with blue color, then you can know that this parameter is shared, and you will be able to use that parameter in your schedules. And if the value is white, so then it's instance. If it's gray, then it's type value. When you make a decision, you can load the family just with drag and drop. You can load the family into the project, and then the family will be selected, and you can put that family into the place where it should be. Also, Smart Family Browser works like a sim application, so you don't need to close the dialog and to open the dialog every time. And you can make additional search according to parameter names, parameter values, family names, or types. But now I would like to show possibility where you can modify those parameters. You can add your own custom parameters, you can change the values, so you can make changes in your library. If you do that with regular Revit, you have to do that manually one by one for every family. And here you can just go to Modify Families, add modification name, then the person name that is trying to modify those families. And here in the separate dialog, we can get all those families that we just selected. So what we can do here, we can press with right click, and we can do different changes in those families. First, maybe I'm going to select parameters, and there are default parameters that automatically selected, but you can select your own parameters that you want to analyze or that you want just to check. And here you will get the real situation, and you will be able to understand what exactly information you have in those families. So it's like the data in the Excel. You can see every type as a separate row, in the separate row, and with different colors you will be able to see and to understand what information you have. And then with the right-click menu, you can, for example, add selected parameters, and the tool will add the same length 1 parameter to all other foundations. Then we can select those families, and we can add additional shared parameters. Okay, we just need to pick a shared parameter file. Okay, and then we just need to select parameters that should be inserted for those objects. It could be any parameter. It could you can select parameters that should be added. Also, it could be instance or type. Then you can change the group of such parameter if it's necessary. And after pressing OK, now the tool will add those parameters for you. Also, with right-click menu, you can change the name of the values. You can change the names if it's necessary. You can predefine your own types. Also, I'm going to add length parameter. Then, for example, the width parameter, and then the thickness. Okay, and as you see here, sometimes it's very difficult to check if everything is okay with your type names. So in this dialog, you can just check those type names and just check if it's really indicates the value that comes from parameter. Also, with changing type names by configuration, you can make your own configuration settings, how the type should be generated automatically. Actually, you can make you can rename that names manually, but also you can just make configuration and just say how exactly those type names should be generated. Okay. So after making those changes, we can close the dialog. Okay, and we can run those save modifications. So it's modification name that I just did, and after pressing OK, now the tool will make all those modifications for us. And the tool will change every family that I just selected from the library.
So, Renata, is this updating the ones in the library as well as the project, or is it just the project?
Right now it's updating the families in the library. We did changes, we're making the changes in the library. So as you see right now, it's exactly the folder that I'm changing right now. And as you see right now, the tool did changes for all those 8 foundations. So those families are updated at the moment because, as you see, the backup files are created. Also with Smart Browser Pro, you can eliminate that backup files. And when we did those changes in the library, we can go to check and update families from library. So this is the place where the tool will find differences between my library and between the project that I have at the moment. So after start checking, the tool right now finds the differences between my elements in the project and elements from my selected library. So there are differences in the profiles, there are new types created, and there are differences in my structural foundations. So 2 new types that are created, and then we can override parameter values and we can reload families to our project. So in such case, we will be always sure that all our families, they are updated, and there are additional 2 types loaded into my project, and also there are additional parameters loaded for every family. Okay, so I'm coming back into my slide, and just let's repeat again. So BIM Tree Manager goes for managing parameters and parameter values that for the families that already used in the object in the model. At the same time, you can distribute and you can insert additional elements into the project. Then Cut Opening Pro makes openings around pipes, ducts, cable traces in walls, floors, beams, and columns. Then Sort Cope, very easy and very handy tool for making copes. Then Metal Framing Wall Plus provides intuitive automated framing functions for metal wall frame design and making shop drawings. At the same time, we have export to CNC machine. Then Smart Assemblies. It goes for making workshop drawings automatically. So it makes assembly with your own predefined views, adds dimensions, makes schedules, and it inserts views into the sheets automatically. And all those dimensioning rules and configurations could be saved in a separate XML file, and it can be placed somewhere in the network server for the multiple users access. And Smart Browser Pro goes for managing parameters and parameter values that comes from the library. So you can filter and you can select some bunch of your families from the library. You can make changes and you can update your project according to the changes that we do in the library. So always your families will be always updated according to the library and according to your company standards. Okay, so thank you. If you have any questions, you are welcome to add your questions to go to webinar dialog, and at the same time here you can see emails and you can contact us anytime.
Thanks, Renetta. So, yeah, just reinforcing that, if you do have questions, send it through to marketing at a2ktechnologies.com.au, and both Renetta and myself will get a copy of the questions. On the A2K website, these products are available for a trial or even just direct back through AGA CAD. So, thanks for your attendance. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.